Are you tired of sitting on the sidelines watching opportunities pass you by? You know you have what it takes, but something's missing. It could be doubt, confidence, or fear that you're not representing your best self. Whatever it is, it stops now. It's time to align your passion with your purpose and seize the opportunities that await you. I want to see you get back in the game. So join me and my expert guests as we talk all things image, branding, and a bit of entrepreneurship. So if you're ready to gain insightful tips, tools, and strategies to help you amplify your presence and define your impact for greater success, sit with us as we talk about it. Welcome back to the Image Connection Show, where we go beyond the surface of image, branding, and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Jenny Dewberry, certified international image consultant, brand strategist, trainer, and speaker. And today we are going to talk a bit about first impressions and silent communicators. And I have with me today Monique Magloire. And you let me know if I say that correct. Monique Magloire, also known as C. Monique. Monique is joining us from Trinidad, and she is a dynamic client relation and business communications professional with over 20 years of experience in cultivating strategic relationships, managing projects, and leading impactful marketing initiatives. She's known for her expertise in stakeholder engagement, brand management, and operational efficiency. She thrives on delivering measurable results and fostering business growth across industries. With a passion and flair for style and fashion, she is also a certified international image consultant and style coach, and she's dedicated to helping individuals discover their foundational colors, curate versatile wardrobes, and master the art of dressing with impact. So it is my pleasure to welcome my sister in style and image, C. Monique.
Hello, Jen.
Hello. How are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. I'm
Good,
good. I'm good.
good. So glad you can join us here today and help unpack impressions and our silent communicators and how those impact our credibility, our presence, and the impact that we make on others.
Yes.
And I want to start with you talking about your journey in image consulting first. How did you get into image consulting and then learn about the power of first impressions?
So my journey started actually with my grandmom. She was
Hmm.
a dressmaker, God rest her soul. She has passed on.
Okay.
And from there, I've always developed, that interest in fashion and styling.
Hmm.
Now, I cannot sew to save my life, but I always found that there was so much more that was, you know, encompassing fashion and style and design.
Yes.
So I started to do some research and I saw this thing called image consultancy and I started to dig a lot more deeper into it. And then when I looked at the London Image Institute, and at the time they were an affiliate to the AICI Global group, which
Yes.
I know you are affiliated with,
Yes.
I actually signed up. I did their full um, full workshop, which would
Hmm.
have been the intermediate as well as advanced in everything color theory, brand, personal brand,
Yes.
um, wardrobe, curating your wardrobe, personal etiquette, business etiquette, etc. And that's how I just started to delve into this thing called that we know as image consultancy,
Hmm.
personal styling, and then started to dive deeper or delve deeper into more the educational factor part of it, of persons understanding their personal style, how to build a signature image,
Hmm.
what constitutes first impression, understanding that your image is a silent communicator, and just building from there. So
Yes.
that's where it all started for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Me too. Pretty much. Well, after a long journey in the beauty industry in itself, being doing hair, being in, working in retail, working in fashion. That's how I
Hmm.
got into the industry as well. But what I love about our industry, Candace, is that it goes so far beyond just styling our clients. We're able to provide tools for them for every aspect of their career, of their life, their entrepreneurial journey,
Yeah.
teaching them etiquette and this first impression and the silent communicators, color, self-esteem. My courses went as far as, personal development, self-esteem, and things like that, confidence building. So what we have here is not just a tool for, but it's a gift for people.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a gift because it really helps to mold us and helps us to evolve into not the person that we want to become, even if we don't quite know who that is yet. Once you start on this journey with an image consultant, we open so many avenues and we tap into that self identity where we, allow others to think bigger than themselves, because now they have
Exactly.
the tools and the confidence to do that. Um, Tell me a bit about your outlook on first impressions, your perspective on that, and the power of it.
Well, that's interesting that you'd ask that because I actually had a session today earlier with some young girls. Well, in the Caribbean, we call them secondary school students in Form
Hmm.
5, the ages of 15 to 18, and actually building my workshop and my presentation to them on personal deportment and first impressions and why first impressions matter.
Hmm.
But then what goes beyond that first impressions, understanding that it takes 7 seconds to build a perception about someone
Yes.
without even them having to say one single word out of
Hmm.
their mouth.
Yeah.
Because what they see is that they see how it is you enter a room. They actually see what it is how it is you representing yourself by the clothes you put on,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
within those 7 seconds, persons already have built a perception about you within those not even a minute, right?
Yes. Yes.
And from there, what happens is that what happens beyond those first impressions?
Hmm.
How do we start to engage and interact with each other to really
Right.
understand, to build that know, like, and trust factor, to
Yes.
really start, delving deeper into building that relationship, getting to know the person, understanding if they're trustworthy, building that credibility, between each other,
Yeah.
and really understanding what it takes and what forms that first impression, not only
Hmm.
your image, but how it is you interact, how it is you sit, how it is you greet, how it
That's
is you
right.
stand. There everybody thinks that it's just the clothes that you put on, but the clothes
Hmm.
that you put on and how you dress is just the accessory. There are
Right.
a lot of things that come before that
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
actually encompasses that whole personal deportment and how it is that you actually make a great first impression.
That's so true. And it does. It starts with our inner selves before we even leave
Yes.
home. We have to be confident about who we are, know who we are. And then I always say before you're leaving home, you want to know where you're going, who's going to be
Yes.
there, what is your goal, what do you wish to accomplish? And then you set yourself up for success in those areas. But again, it's so much more than putting on clothes. That's just the very small part of a first impression. It's energy, it's
Yes.
presence, right?
Yes.
And so when
Yes.
we enter into a space or a room, people are, like you said, immediately, they're reading us through our energy, and then our posture, how we're entering that room, our
Hmm.
confidence, our stance, all of that plays a huge role in the first impression. And it's going to do two things. It's going to make people want to learn a bit more about us, or it's going to make them turn away and think this is not someone that I want to even spend a moment with trying to know, trying to get to know.
Yes. Yes.
As rapid as first impressions are, you said, that it takes about 7 seconds to make a first
Mhm.
impression.
Yeah.
In recent research that I was doing, I found something that said sometimes it can take less than a second depending on the situation.
Wow.
That is rapid. That's
That is
rapid.
rapid. Yep.
Hmm. And whether or not it's accurate doesn't even matter, because for that person that's looking at you in that moment, it's accurate for them. It's real for them. And so it's very difficult to turn that around. It's
Hmm.
very difficult to turn a first impression around. So we need to do what we need to do out the gate, to make sure that we are able to achieve what it is that we want to achieve, leave a positive impression. And then also what do we do beyond those initial seconds? How can we hold that? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we hold that, I think, through conversation,
Yes.
open ended conversations as well, and
Mhm.
being attentive, effective listening, and being truly interested too in what someone else is saying. I think that has a lot to do with, having a first impression and leaving a lasting impression after you're gone, because it's an engaging conversation. You're really invested in that moment with that person. That's a component of the first impression, I think, as well.
And another thing to that, Jens, is
Hmm.
that when you're building that conversation, you're also building that relationship. Persons are
Yes.
going to start to now understand who you are,
Hmm.
what do you represent, who you are as a personal brand. How does that constitute to every other aspect of that, is part of your lifestyle?
Yes.
And can they see that through, and that actually builds that credibility that they can see, okay, this is somebody that I can continue engaging with,
Yeah.
I can do business with, um, that I can speak highly of,
Hmm. That I
right?
trust. Yes.
That I trust, right?
Hmm.
That trustworthiness is very, very key.
Yeah.
And then for you individually, that's where you build your confidence,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
That's where the clarity, that first impression, and going beyond that,
Hmm.
you have already started to clarify for the other persons interacting with you,
Hmm.
what do you stand for, who you are, and how
Right.
you're representing yourself.
Yeah.
So based on that, it really transcends into other things that lead into more fruitful partnerships and relationships.
Hmm. Indeed. Indeed. Again, it's
Yeah.
it's energy, and it's being really authentic. Being authentic, not walking in the room pretending to be someone you're not, because that can only last for so long. People read very well anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We can go in somewhere saying that we are one person, or we can show up as one person, but once we start to hold a conversation, again, within seconds, people can read that this person is not who she
Yeah.
has,
Yeah.
passed herself off to be. She can't hold the conversation. She can't talk about this area of expertise that she says she holds. So we have to be in alignment, not only in how we show up non-verbally, our silent communicators, but also our verbal, and making sure there's no disconnect in who we say we are and what we say we are. You know what I mean? Who
Right.
we are as a
Yes.
person, and then what we are as a professional, whether
Yes.
that's an entrepreneur, someone in a career role, working in
Mhm.
corporate or something like that. It really doesn't matter. Misalignment is the number one way to kill credibility and sabotage those relationships. And so when we talk about silent communicators, there's so many.
Mm,
There are so many. Can
so
you
many.
share so many? Yes. Can you share a bit with us about a few silent communicators that can either propel us or stagnate us?
So first off the bat, your image,
Mm-hmm.
how it is that you present yourself in the environments that you enter,
Yes.
right? That is number one. That is key, because how you put together yourself,
Mm-hmm.
how it is you put together or you curate your looks, will speak volumes to persons that are seeing you for the first time,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So your image is definitely that one key factor.
Yes.
Second thing is that how you greet someone is also a silent communicator.
Mm-hmm.
If
Mm-hmm.
you're very, um, let's say, standoffish, or you are very shy, you may be an introvert, and you do not interact with people eye to eye, you do not have that eye to eye engaging contact,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
That is also a silent communicator as well, because
It
that
is.
is now your introduction to meeting or greeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also another silent communicator is your um how should I put it? Your presence, your energy,
Yeah.
right? How
Mm-hmm.
it is you come into a room. Are you
That's
gonna come
right.
into a room, boisterous and loud? Um,
Mm-hmm.
and boisterous and loud does not mean that you're speaking, but boisterous and loud means,
You're
again,
just loud.
you're just loud. You
Yeah.
just have that energy. You give out that energy. Even
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the type of clothes that you would wear.
Yes.
And also how it is that the your body language
Mm-hmm.
is also a silent communicator as
Absolutely.
well.
First of
Your
all,
body first of
yeah.
all is your body language.
Mm-hmm.
How are you, you know, relating to others within that same space? So
Yes.
you're talking about your image, how it is you're doing yourself, how you dress, your interaction, and
Mm-hmm.
also your body language. Are you slouching when you sit?
Yes.
Are
Gosh.
are you um distancing yourself
Mm-hmm.
from others? Are you greeting persons with a limp handshake, right? So
Yes.
all of those things are those key indicators, or those silent, um what should I say, yes, those silent
Signals.
indicators,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
silent signals
Mm-hmm.
that actually, you know
Tells
speak
a lot about
for you.
us.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
they tell a lot about us,
yep.
especially even before I became an image consultant and learned about body language and such. When someone shook my hand and it was a limp fish type shake, I
Mm-hmm.
immediately knew that they weren't interested. They probably didn't really connect with me with my energy. And for me, it was like, I don't even know if I want to even get to know this person because the handshake alone told me a lot about them. And so
Mm-hmm.
people dismiss those small details, but it's up to us to
Yes,
inform
yes.
them of the importance of all of that. You know, a firm web to web handshake, that right there, it exhibits confidence, interest, letting the person know that you are glad to meet them and perhaps want to learn more about them. When we talk about our posture and slouching, even our gait tells a lot about our confidence.
Mm.
People think that fast walking is the way to go. It's not. Slow down a bit, pace
Yes.
yourself, when we're taking those shifting footsteps. People don't think about that, but it speaks
Mm.
to, again, your confidence level. It really
Yes.
does. You have to think about how we walk. And when we're standing straight and erect, it helps us not to have that super fast pace
Yes.
or even the slow shifting footsteps and
Mm-hmm.
dragging our feet. All of that is amazing that it tells a story about us. And again, we know this because we've studied it. Other people
Exactly.
don't think about it, so when we are working, for me, when I'm working with individuals and I talk about these things, they'll think, oh, wow, I never thought about that. But being that they haven't thought about it, just think about how many doors that may have been closed because of these small details that they're not thinking about. Those,
Yes.
again, you
Yes.
you call them silent communicators, which they are, but I also call them silent commercials because people are
Oh,
watching. They're
got
always
you. That's
watching.
a good. That's a good
They're
one.
always on stage, whether you want to believe that or not, because the world is a movie. So people are always going to watch you, and you never know the impact that you make for those that are sitting on the sidelines and watching, how you move through this world, you know, judging you, which we don't want to, we like to think that we don't judge, but it's human nature to judge. We're like a book. I always say we're like a book cover.
Yeah.
So how we present ourselves is going to draw people in. And if they like what they see, they're going to want to lean in. And I would just say, open up, and learn what's inside and learn what we can do or what a person can do for them. Based on, again, it may sound superficial, but it isn't. And it might sound like vanity, but how we look and how we dress, the colors that we wear,
Yes.
I mean, really, it's the door to opportunities or not.
Yes.
The door to opportunities or not. And there are many of blind spots, and we just talked about those. The blind spots and the misalignment uh,
Mm-hmm.
in image and presence. So, um, can you discuss a couple? of blind spots, more blind spots that perhaps maybe we are going to a networking event and we go into this event, we have not prepared, we have not done any research of who's going to be there. We really don't even know what the network event is about. We just know that it's a business networking event. But what is the theme of the networking event? So again, we kind of set ourselves up for a bit of failure if we don't do that, because if we know who is going to be in that room before we get there, it gives us the opportunity to go in the room, maybe focus on that person that we have read about, because likely in some instances a picture might be there. If you're part of an organization, women's organizations, when you look up a person, their picture is there. You see that person, and then you'll know how to work your way to that person and approach them and start a conversation, and then see how you two can collaborate or partnership, or at least get to know each other and build that relationship.
Yeah.
So again, the misalignment and blind spots could be in networking. It can also be in dressing or underdressing or overdressing
Overdressing.
for a
Because I was actually
situation.
going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Underdressing. Yeah, underdressing and overdressing.
Hmm.
Um, so it's that example that you brought up with the going to a network event. Yes, a lot of persons take it for granted that just a network event that you just show up casually. And casually meaning that, you just wear a jeans and a t-shirt
Hmm.
and you're going to be able to network and meet with some heavy shakers and some heavy
Yes.
hitters. Now, nothing is wrong with a jeans and a polo t-shirt
Right.
or that sort of attire, that simple
Hmm.
sort of attire.
Sure.
But if you really want to make an impression, there's certain things. There's a difference between dressing and there's a difference between styling. You
Yes.
can wear that same jeans and a polo t-shirt and you can style it up so that it actually gives off or it actually brings across a message that
Hmm.
you are serious, that
Yes.
you want to be in the room, that you are engaging and you want people to engage with you as well,
Yes.
right?
That's
And that
good.
you
Hmm.
know that you what you're about,
Yeah.
because now your image is representing who you are,
Hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
it's part of you. It's part of your personal brand. As I told those girls this morning, that your personal brand does not start with a logo, your
Mhm.
brand assets, your brand, your
Yes.
tagline. It starts with you. How are you
You.
showing up and you are
That's right.
entering rooms?
And what makes you different? What is your
And
differentiator?
what is your different, yeah, what is your differentiator? But before we
Yes.
can get to that, how
Hmm.
are you entering the rooms that you want to be known
Sure.
in,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
going back to that, you can dress up, as I said, a polo or style
Hmm.
up a polo and a jeans by putting on a blazer,
Yeah.
putting
Hmm.
on some accessories. If you're
Changing your
not
shoes. You
changing
know.
your shoes,
Yes.
adding some color, a pop of color,
Hmm.
right? Or if you do not know what colors will go good with your skin tone,
Hmm.
you start with a light print. You can do
Yeah.
pinstripe or polka dot,
That's right.
and right, and
Hmm.
add some something exciting in there
Yeah. Some
that will
interest. Yeah.
exactly
Something
that will spark
interesting.
the interest and that will actually have some eyes look in your direction,
Hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
If you're a woman and you not necessarily don't like makeup, make sure that your eyebrows are well groomed. Make
And
sure that your hair is well done and
yes.
neat and poised. Make
And at
sure
least a
that,
little
yeah.
lip gloss. You don't
Oh,
have
and
to
lip
wear
gloss.
makeup,
Yeah,
but
you
at
don't have to
least
wear total
something
makeup.
to open up your face. We don't have to
Yes,
be fully made up. You don't need a makeup artist to get you ready before you go
yes,
to these events and these into these rooms. But you want to look approachable. You want to
yes,
be vibrant, and those
mhm,
little small tweaks helps to highlight your face and bring a little vibrancy into you. If and especially if you're not aware of what colors work for you, if you're wearing the wrong
yes.
colors, they could definitely wash you out,
Hmm.
right? But if you are, well, not there's no but, they could wash you out. But if you're wearing the wrong colors along with not having any type of makeup on at all, then you're really grayed out. So we have to
Yes.
consider that too, the importance of color and textures, prints, and all of that, and how and what works for you, your personality, your
Mm-hmm. That
lifestyle.
plays a big part. Yes.
Yes, oh yeah, it plays
That
a
plays a big
huge
part.
part
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I could put someone in this satiny shirt
Yes.
and they feel totally out of place if it doesn't align with their personality. Just like
Exactly.
someone could put me in leopard prints. I can wear them subtly, but I will not wear a leopard dress. Not that I don't like it, but it's not a part of my personality. So
Got you.
therefore, I feel like an imposter if I'm in that. So I'm not going to be as productive as I could be
Mm-hmm.
if I were in something else. I'm not going to be as confident as I could be if I was in something that really was true to my personality, my style personality. So
Got you.
knowing that,
Yes.
of course,
Yeah.
is important, and that's something that we take clients through before we work with
Mm-hmm.
them or while working with them. We need to know what do you like, what's your style, so that we can make sure that we're not changing them, but just elevating,
But
right?
but 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 Jens, the thing to that is sometimes most of them do not
Don't know.
know what
They
is their
don't.
style.
Yeah.
They they have no clue. It's not
Hmm.
that they don't have style within them. It's just that life, or they have just become
Hmm.
so, mundane into that monotonous sort of dressing,
Right.
or that
Yeah.
usual type of dressing. Let's say they are just into nude tones, and they just know browns and creams and navies,
Blacks. Yes.
and well, when we get into color, we're talking about black and white and not color and stuff like that. So
Right.
they're
Yeah.
very into those very monotone, those very neutral,
Hmm.
muted tones. They don't know how to take those tones and then mix it with color so that it is suited to them.
They don't.
And
They
then
don't.
also understanding what's within their wardrobe.
Hmm.
How do I take what's within my wardrobe and curate looks and different looks that will be
Yes.
suited for who I am as a personal brand and the environment that I in, whether I'm in corporate C-suite, whether I'm an entrepreneur, business owner,
Yes.
or whether I am transitioning into that space out of
Hmm.
C-suite,
Yeah.
going
That.
into retirement,
Yeah.
retirement. How do I evolve? Where do I start? What do I do?
Hmm.
What is my style elements and characteristics that
Right.
really speak to who I am? They
Hmm.
actually don't know.
They
And that's
don't
why,
know.
yeah, they don't
Yeah.
know. And
And it's
that's why,
our job to send them through that
yeah,
process, to help
to
to
take
walk
them.
them through that
Yes.
process. That's why it's called a style personality test. They give us a little bit and we ask those probing questions so that we can have an
Mhm.
idea. And then once they're working with us, we uncover, some things about them. We learn about their personality just through conversation sometimes, and then through them doing the work. And we help them to identify what that style personality is. And many clients don't even know what that means. They've not even heard that
Have
term,
not.
style personality.
Exactly.
But it
Yeah.
isn't, it's a such thing and it's huge. It's really the starting point to us getting to help these individuals to
Yes.
dress in a way, again, that fits their lifestyle, fits their personality, and it helps them to get to the goal that they're trying to get to. So it's big. It's so much to this business that we do. It's so
Listen,
it's
no,
so
I don't think
rewarding.
people appreciate that. They think that image consultancy, I mean, I understand that I always say prior to COVID, it seemed, or it was deemed as a luxury type of
Hmm.
service.
Yes.
But post COVID, where we are now into very hybrid environments, we are now working remotely, we do a lot of things virtually. You're, and, coming, showing up in your best self
Hmm.
and representing yourself in the best way possible is more important now than ever
It
before,
is.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And us image consultants, we actually take, and when we say image, a true image consultant,
Hmm.
I'm sorry, but a true image
No,
consultant,
say it.
a
Yes.
true image consultant and style specialist or expert that is actually going to take the time to
Hmm.
walk you, hold your hand and walk you through that process.
Right.
because at the end of the day, you have to understand where you're at in the present
Mm-hmm.
and where you want to evolve to, because your
Yes.
style is ever evolving.
Ever.
Your image is never stagnant. You're
Yes.
not going to wear what you were wearing at 20 years old, at 30 years old,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and at 30, at 40, right?
Right.
Your body changes, your style changes,
Mm-hmm.
your likes change.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I said, you are transitioning in terms of your lifestyle, the
Right.
aspects
Yeah.
of your lifestyle. So
Mm-hmm.
that is going to change as well. What is going to be suited for you now is not going to be what was for then and what's going to be suited for you in the future.
So
But
true.
if it is that you have the tools and the skills that you could identify how it is I'm going to dress my body shape, right? What is
Yes.
going to be well suited for me? And that's another thing. A lot of persons out there don't know how to dress their body shape
They don't know
because
what their body shapes are.
they don't know what their
They
body
don't
shapes
know.
are.
Yeah.
This is where we as image consultants come in, because
Mm-hmm.
then we could fine tune those areas. And then what I always say, shop in your closet first before you even go out there and
Yeah.
shop.
Yeah.
Shop
Indeed.
in your closet,
Mm-hmm.
see what is going to be working now. Start to edit your closet and you start to make room for those new pieces to come in. You have an idea of how to put and curate or put together those pieces to
Mm-hmm.
make those capsules. And then when your style evolves, you already have an idea of what is suited for you. So
Yes.
shopping becomes easier, color contrasting becomes easier, and it starts becoming a lot more fun dressing
That's
because now
true.
you're intentional about how it is you show up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is good. This is very
Yeah,
good, Monique. While we're taking a pause here, we're going to take a break
sure,
and then we'll be right back.
sure, no problem.
All right. You're not just building a career, you're building a reputation and that of your business. At People Power Consultancy, we coach ambitious professionals to refine their image and shape a personal brand that opens doors. Because the way you show up is your message. If you're tired of blending in, second guessing your presence, or feeling unseen, this is your moment to stand out with purpose and polish. Visit peoplepowerconsultancy.com to start your transformation. Your next level has a look. Let's define it. All right, so I am here with C. Monique, and we are talking about silent communicators, first impressions, and we've got into some other things about image because image is such a
Yes, it is.
broad industry,
Huge.
such a broad spectrum of tools and services that we offer to our clients. We couldn't just stay on those two topics, right?
Of course not.
So there's
Of course not.
yeah, so much to know and learn. And before we move forward, I wanted to ask you that if someone was listening to us and they wanted to get in touch with you to learn a bit more about what you do, how could they do that?
Sure. So you can follow me on IG, Instagram, or Facebook at I am Simonique, right? And then I'm also on LinkedIn, Candace Magloire or Candace Monique Magloire, right? And once you pull up my name, you will get me, you connect, and then you send me a message and we'll take it from there.
Great, great, great.
Yeah,
Yes, so we will continue. And we were talking about, as I said, we're talking about silent communicators and first impressions. And we have touched on this a little bit about um, continual impressions after that first impression. What
mm-hmm.
are we going to leave with the people that we talk to, the people that we spend time with? What are they going to say about us once they're no longer in our presence? How do we continue that impression and leave a positive, lasting impression so that people are eager? You know, when they see us again, they want to talk to us. They're eager to want to learn more. What would you say would be a way to do that?
So one way to do that is actually through simply through that engagement.
Mm-hmm.
How it is that you interact during that first impression, or
Sure.
I should say that after that first impression, and you have those conversations, start to let people know a bit about who you are, what drives you, what
Mm-hmm.
motivates you,
Yeah.
what you're interested in. Start to, you know, have that sort of conversation so that people start to know who you
Mm-hmm.
know, who
Yeah.
makes up Candice Monique Magloire, who makes up the C Monique, who makes up Jenny.
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
What are your interests? Are your aspirations?
Hmm.
Where do you see yourself, let's say, in a few months, a year? Um, and get the thoughts and the as I said, the
Yeah.
conversation going,
Get that interest
so that
going.
and yeah, the interest going, and
Hmm.
then you can definitely see that numbers would exchange. Let's, continue the conversation more,
Yeah.
because now you're an interest to them. Now
Hmm.
let's see how both of our interests and skills can marry each other. Similar
Hmm.
to you and I, Jens, is,
Yeah.
you were doing this podcast. We actually connected via, social media.
Yes.
Have not
Hmm.
seen each other in person at all, and
Right.
share the same interest, and just having a love for, that mutual
Hmm.
um industry of image
What we
consultancy
do. Yeah.
brought us together.
And if you
And
haven't followed you, not to cut you off, but you need to follow See Monique on Instagram because she puts it
yep,
on. She does. She,
well, I try
is
my best. I
she
try my
is who
best.
she say she is, So
Exactly. Who
yeah,
you see online, it's definitely how it is I show up. I told my girls that this
so
morning.
important.
Who you see online, it's not gonna be different. You're
Hmm.
gonna see me in color. You're gonna see me in bold prints. You're gonna hear me laugh out loud from time to time.
Hmm.
And that's who I am, you know,
Yeah,
you know,
just
whether I
authentic.
am on screen or if you meet me in person,
Yeah,
So
authenticity and consistency, right? You
yes,
can't show up here on this show, so to speak, looking
yeah.
one way and speaking one way. And just because you think someone isn't watching when you go somewhere else, you're a totally different person. It
Hmm.
has to be, we have to move in alignment. Any
Yes,
room that we enter, any space that we're enter, any conversation that we're having must sound and look like us at
yes.
all times. And sometimes it may not be as formal.
Hmm.
Sometimes we may be able to be a little bit more relaxed if we're in a more relaxed setting, but your poise is going to be the same. Your
Exactly.
communicators are going to be the same. Like you said, you might laugh out loud every now and then because that's who you are. So
Yeah.
we're not saying to change who you are, shrink who you are. The essence of who you are is just that. It's you. But we want to work with our clients in helping them to elevate that and also know what version, when I say version, I don't mean a different person, but who to take in what room.
Hmm.
That's it at the end
Yes,
of the
most
day.
definitely. Yeah, most
Hmm.
definitely.
Yeah,
I like that. What vision of you? Yeah, that you
right.
want, because yeah, because the different visions make up who you are, but what vision is suited for the space and environment that you're
Absolutely.
in at that specific time.
That's
You
right.
know, so
That's
yeah,
right. Yeah. So,
yeah.
so important and so true. And so we can talk a bit here too about, we're talking about it already though, digital presence.
Mm,
Showing up on this platform, showing up on social media. You're this person, you're this vibrant person, you're this, you know, uh, positive person, you're exuding this high energy and positivity. And then when you're off camera, you're someone else, or knowing how to show up online refined, I would say. I think that it's very important that we separate our businesses and our personal. I know it's important, it's imperative that you separate your personal social media pages from your business social media page. But
most
that doesn't mean
definitely.
that you can be on that personal social media page just acting like someone totally different. Someone goes and visits you here, and then they go on your social page, your personal page, and you're unrecognizable. And so it's important to, again, have alignment with how we show up in both of those spaces. And then it's also important that you show up as you are. But for me, and it has a lot to do with my upbringing too, because my mom was very stylish.
Mm,
My
yes,
father really poured into us the importance of putting ourselves together before we presented ourselves to others outside of the door. We had to,
yeah.
before we came downstairs, we had to ensure that our hair was combed, face was washed, everything
Flash
was
up. Yep,
done. Everything,
yep.
hair, brushed teeth before breakfast. And then you had better not go out of that door without shoes on, without shirt, being clean. So I grew up with that. And so for me, it's very important that I show up as that. I think just to honor the work that they poured into me, and though I've gotten it wrong many of times, but I know that when I am showing up online, I feel like if I wasn't showing up in a polished way, then not only am I doing myself a disservice, but I'm also dishonoring the work that my parents poured
That your
into me.
parents.
Yeah, yeah. So it talk to
and
me
and
too.
and you see, that's what intentionality comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be intentional about
Yeah,
how you are showing up in these digital spaces.
that's right.
Yes, you want persons to see a holistic you. That means they're not only seeing you in a corporate type of setting, or
Mm-hmm.
they're not only seeing you in a casual type of setting. They're
Right.
seeing you in all your environments,
Mm-hmm.
just bits and pieces, right? So
Right.
that they can see that, okay, you're not all suit and tie. You're not
Mm-hmm.
all laughy and giggly. You're not
Yeah.
you. Yeah, there are certain elements of you that you show that encompasses
Mm-hmm.
you yourself, the
Yes.
individual. However, it was very key that you what you indicated is that you still want to compartmentalize,
Mm-hmm.
those areas of yourself that you don't necessarily need to show. Social media is does not mean that you have to show any and everything out there,
Right.
right? You
Mm-hmm.
still want to ensure that you have those mediums or platforms that you are showing up professionally,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you'll see um the one-off times where it is that you're in a family setting, you're showing up with your family or your girlfriends and stuff like that, but you still maintain that professional, you know, appearance.
Yes. And
So
that.
because yeah,
Yeah.
right. But
Mm-hmm.
again, that intentionality of showing up meaning that you are not going to be out here looking any whole how or
Yes.
any way. You are going to ensure that, as you said, what it is your parents instill in you using that as your foundation to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you are not only representing yourself, you're representing them, you're representing your family who is coming, who is attached to you.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
when you are intentional about doing that, it comes easy.
It does.
Yes,
So
it
much
comes so
easier.
easy. It comes part of you.
Yeah.
The
Those
same.
values and beliefs that were instilled in us. Some of it falls away, but the core of it, it
It
sticks
it,
with
it,
us.
it stays. It was
It stays.
always.
Yeah, it does
It
not
will
go anywhere.
always
And
stay.
then once you are leaning into those, it really dictates how you show up. It doesn't become it becomes not hard. I couldn't think there, but it becomes easy because it truly is a part of who you are. And so when you can identify, really sit and identify who you are, what your values are, what your beliefs are, you have no other recourse but to show up as
Yeah,
that person.
yeah,
Showing up as anything else is total misalignment.
yeah.
It's
Total misalignment. Yeah.
disconnect, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's really overwhelming because if I show up somewhere other than Jenny and how I am, everyone knows me, knows how I am and who I am. So if I show up as this tomorrow as someone totally different, they're going to think, well, goodness, has Jenny had a
Yeah,
breakdown
yeah.
or what's
What is
going
going on?
on here?
Yeah,
So I
a
dare
total
not
character
change who I
change.
am to
Yeah.
try to fit a mold of what someone else thinks I should be. And I think that everyone should lean to that. Just always
Yeah.
being able to show up as yourself, but do that in the best way possible. Be the best
Exactly.
version of who you are. And if you don't know how to do that, then spend some time with yourself. Do some
Mm-hmm.
personal development strategies to build that up, and so that you are confident in embracing who you are, because that's
Yes.
where the real impact is. That's where the real magic is, and that's what people connect to. Us just being
Exactly.
authentic, showing up in a manner that people can feel, because it's all energy. It's all energy. People can
All
feel when we're
energy. It's
performing.
all aura. It's
Yeah.
all how it is that people feed off of your vibe,
Hmm.
right?
Yes,
And
yes,
people sense it. People want to gravitate to positivity.
they
People want
do.
to gravitate to good energy. And let me tell you something, whether you're facing, you're face to face, or you're on screen or
Hmm.
digitally, virtually, people are going to, people will feel it.
I
People
do.
would, you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, they would.
Yeah. The screen, face to face. I
Face to
always
face,
say there's
you would,
nothing
you
like,
would.
yeah, there's nothing like human connection. But again, just because you're behind this screen does not mean you can be a
Does
totally
not mean
different person.
exactly.
It does not mean that at all. And so it's good talking with you. This is, I think it's a really good segment. And I wanted to, again, talk about another silent communicator. And
Hmm.
that would be, and we touched on it, being standoffish,
Mm,
being a, if we're an introvert, that's fine, but knowing how to step out of that when it's necessary, because I am actually an introvert.
yeah,
um, and doing this, when I started this, it was terrifying. It gets better over time, but it was
it
terrifying for
does.
me. But I know that as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a professional, I can't go into a room and just sit down like I would love to do, like a wallflower.
Cannot,
I cannot
cannot,
do that. The
cannot.
business will never grow. You'll never make that connection. And then people don't know that don't know you that you're an introvert.
They would
Again,
never, exactly.
they'll never
Yes,
know. So
they
they're
would never
looking at
know.
you like she's standoffish. They don't want to connect with anybody. Why is she here? So knowing how to bring all parts of you into a room, but also knowing how to connect and connect and talk with others, even if it's for a brief moment. You can talk to someone for 2 or 3 minutes. At least you've made a connection, even if it's
Hmm.
not that long. You've made a connection. So we need to. My advice to any introverts out here is to learn how to get into a room and do not immediately go
To
find a
the back,
seat or to the
to the
back.
back, to
If
the
you have
back.
to go into a room, just if you go to the right, just stand for a second and just find someone else that's standing alone. They may be an introvert as well. Work your way to that person and have a conversation just to kind of help you get comfortable in that space and
Yes,
comfortable with talking to others. And then you'll feel so much better after you've talked to just that one person. Then you feel more empowered to move around the room and get to talk to someone else. But do not do yourself a disservice
injustice,
or
and
an
this is
injustice
my
by just
interpretation.
walking into a room, finding a seat to sit in, or, like you said, going to the back of the room and watching what's going on
With you see, with
alone.
that, Jens, it's a realignment of mindset
Mm-hmm.
because you have already conditioned yourself to be standoffish. Oh,
Yes.
I'm just somebody who likes to stand in the back.
Mm-hmm.
I like to stand in the back, but as you see, as you just said, are you doing more? Are you being more of a detriment to yourself? Are
Definitely.
you being a disservice to yourself? Because what that prohibits you from now actually persons getting to know the
Mm-hmm.
real you.
Right. Yeah.
So you may be the sweetest person that there is. There may be
Nobody
so
knows.
much to you that persons can learn from. But because you do not want to take that step forward,
Mm-hmm.
your mindset is not aligned to
Yeah.
where it is that your next move or your next step.
Mm-hmm.
Because one, out of fear, you're just fearful. If persons
Yes.
get to know me, would they like me?
Mm-hmm.
It may be just be a mannerism issue that you have conditioned yourself because you're protecting yourself from something,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes.
Because of trauma wounds, or we never know. Because sometimes those are just
Rejection.
surface
Yeah.
rejection. Those are
Mm-hmm.
just surface scars that goes deeper into a lot more things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we as image consultants are sometimes psychiatrists because when we understand why persons are stuck and they
Mm-hmm.
continually wear clothing that are not suited for their body silhouette,
Yes.
we understand why did it take you so long to get out of that rut. And when
Yeah.
we start to peel the layers, we understand why.
Yeah. It's emotional. It is emotional.
It's very emotional. I had clients cry because they're
Yes.
like, I want to move forward, but what
Just
something is keeping me
stuck.
back.
They're
Yeah,
stuck.
because
Again.
their mindset is not aligned to their body.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a total disconnect what's going on with the brain and what's going on here
Yeah.
to the rest
Yeah.
of their body. And once we get into that alignment and we start to shift, that's
Mm-hmm.
how the intentionality starts to play in,
That's right.
because now you have to do the work, because a lot of people think it's just putting on the dressing is just an accessory.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
That's
image is
all
inside
it
out.
is.
Like we say, it's image
Comes from
consultant.
the
Image is truly
exact
inside out, and we have to start from the beginning, from the inside, rather.
from the
And
inside, bring it out, because that's where your personal style comes
yeah,
from.
that's
It
right.
comes from you. It
From
comes
you.
from what it is you love. What are your
Yeah.
interests? What drives you,
And just
right?
because you see someone in something stylish on TV, we do. I do ask my
Oh,
clients, and I think many of
let's
us
not even
do.
get into that. Let's not even get
I
into
know. Doesn't mean
Let's
it's
not
for
even
you. We're
into
gonna,
that. Yep.
yeah. So yeah, it is. It's mindset, and sometimes it takes a little work to shift that, to help them shift
Shift.
that,
Yes.
and continue its work. They may even end a program, but you find them coming back because sometimes they will revert back
Yes.
to, that previous version of themselves, or
Hmm.
begin to, they sense that they are, so they may come back and say, well, I need this. And then, over time they get there. But again,
It
it
gets
change
into it.
and transformation is hard. It's not
Yes.
easy. It's hard for probably 80% of the women that I've worked with. It's
Hmm.
hard because again, we don't want to admit that we don't have confidence. Even
Yes.
it doesn't matter your your level in your career. It doesn't matter how ambitious you are. It doesn't matter whether you're an entry level individual or someone running an entire company. We all have barriers that we have to overcome. And sometimes, again, like you said, we are so busy trying to live up to the expectations of others and trying to do the work and build someone else's company that we lose ourselves in that process. And
Oh,
so
come
it
on.
yeah,
Yes,
and
come
so it
on.
really impacts our esteem sometimes, and definitely our confidence.
Yes.
Yes. So just finding our way back is what I like to say. We help
Yes.
our clients, I think, sometimes to find their way back to what they wanted years ago, but not only that, helping them to get past that to their future selves,
Hmm.
helping them to get to their future selves. So
Yeah.
I just like to say that it is a lot of deep work that we do as image consultants.
People don't know
It's
the half of it.
it's deep. It's deep, and I
It's
love it. I
deep.
wouldn't
It is
change a
deep.
moment of
I
it.
thank you. I would not, because that is where the true transformation begins.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you start to really work with a client and you work through those fears and you work through those barriers,
Mm-hmm.
and you really start to see them smile at when it is
I
them,
know
them see themselves, it is just so worth it. It
it
is
is.
so worth it.
It's worth
And
every
then
moment of
they
it.
start to have fun. I always say, when you dress good, you feel good. And when you feel good, it inspires you to do better.
It
And when you
does.
do better, you actually feel motivated to go and show up in your best self.
And go
So
after
why
what you
not? So
want.
why not
Why not
start
do it?
dressing and having fun in
Yeah.
dressing, and in
And it shifts everything. People respond
everything.
to you differently.
Exactly.
Opportunities are there for you. People
Yep.
are watching and they're complimenting. And while all that's going on, you're just, your
Yeah.
confidence is
The
just
once
building
it is
and
you show
building.
up,
Yeah.
because you don't know who is watching you. And
Hmm.
I always tell clients, I said, there are people who watch you and who will tell you, oh my God, yes, but there are those that watch you and don't see anything.
Don't say
But they're
anything.
watching. They're
Always.
watching to see if it is that you will maintain, if it
Yeah.
is that you shift, if it is that you dip, if it is that you will,
Hmm.
evolve.
Yeah.
They are watching,
They're
they are
watching
taking
to
notes.
see how it's going to end up sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is
Yep.
good. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, it has been such a pleasure having you here,
Thank
Monique.
you so
And
much.
so, as we end this segment, tell us again where people can reach you.
Mhm.
That's
So persons can reach me on Instagram at underscore I am C Monique. Facebook as well, I am C Monique. When you click on the bio, you're going to get into my link tree and you can send me a message, or you can
hmm
contact me at LinkedIn at Candace Monique Magloire. Full name, and we connect, and then we can engage and see how we can make magic together.
that's right, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
It is magic at the end of
It
the
is
day.
it is
It
magic, believe
is.
you
It
me.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, my name is Jenny Dewberry. I am an international image consultant as well. And if you want to learn a bit about what I do, you can visit my website. It's peoplepowerconsultancy.com. I am on Instagram as Jenny D underscore People Power, and LinkedIn is Jenny Dewberry. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Candace, for again being here. It was a
Thank you for
great
having me. It was
conversation.
wonderful.
Yeah, it was a great conversation. And so,
Yes.
any of you listening, always remember that your image is always speaking, and make sure it speaks with clarity, intention, and truth. Until next time, bye bye. Thanks for tuning in to the Image Connection Show. We truly appreciate you being here. We hope you'll join us again. And don't keep it to yourself. Invite a friend to tune in too. If you're ready for more insightful tips, tools, and strategies to help you enhance your image, brand, and help you on your entrepreneurial journey, this is where you want to be. Until next time, keep showing up with purpose, presence, and power. I'll see you next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Take care.